Breaking news, Netflix has officially won the bidding war for Warner Bros. Discovery and now enters exclusive talks for a deal that will see Warner Bros. Merge with Netflix. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, we're fucked. Because I think this could really be the death of cinema. But I'm still holding out hope. Either way, me and you know what we gotta do, we gotta talk about it. So seemingly out of nowhere, The Wrap exclusively reported that Netflix has won the bidding war for Warner Bros. Discovery and now enters exclusive deal talks. Netflix ended up winning by offering $30 a share for Warner Bros. And in addition to that, a $5 billion breakup fee to match Paramount's bid. And that $5 billion breakup fee is actually extremely important because that $5 billion will be paid to Warner Bros. Discovery if Netflix isn't able to get regulatory approval, which would cause the acquisition to fall apart completely. Still unclear what the full details are, but it's mostly stock and cash related. And that regulatory approval is really going to be the biggest hurdle because there's a lot of red tape they still need to get through. So I don't think it's finished quite yet. But more than likely, this clears the way for Netflix to be able to purchase Warner Bros. Studios, HBO Max, and all of their rich IP, which includes DC Studios, amongst a massive library of classic cartoons and animated projects, Harry Potter, Dune, and the list goes on and on. Now, before I move on as to every single why I think this is a bad omen for the film industry, I do want to see this as somewhat of a win because at least Paramount did not win this bid. Paramount and the Ellisons winning this bid would have been way worse. So when I first heard the news, I said, I don't care if Netflix wins. I just needed Paramount to lose. But now that we got Paramount in the rear view and I can really focus on Netflix, I'm starting to think more of like the Alien versus Predator tagline. Because whoever wins, we lose. Now, why do I personally hate this? It's because Netflix has been constantly contributing to the death of cinema and the theater experience throughout its entire journey into becoming the streaming titan that it is today. On top of a bunch of antitrust issues, a whole bunch of job losses. Plus, could y'all just imagine how much you're going to be paying a month for Netflix now? It's already $24.99 a month. Now adding everything that Warner Bros. Has at its disposal, I can see these prices going way up, like $50 a month. Plus other little extra fees without ads, etc., adding members to your household. But it's their weird relationship with theatrical releases that has me the most concerned. Because they treat theatrical releases like a soap opera couple, will they, won't they? And ultimately end up just having like 2-week theatrical releases before they ultimately get dumped on Netflix. That's even if your big movie is lucky to get a theatrical release. I mean, just look at Frankenstein as the most recent example. Had like a 2 or 3 week theatrical window that nobody went to go see because they knew it was going to come out on Netflix in 2 weeks. If they continue with this model, and again, they could always change their mind and surprise us, I'm hoping that they do, but it's going to be the death of event cinema in general. Damn, now that I think about it, Netflix is out here moving like King Von. First blockbuster, now cinemas. Can't keep getting away with it. Like my brothers and sisters in Christ, could you imagine watching Sinners for the first time on Netflix? Boom, boom. Film that was meant to be experienced on the big screen in IMAX with all of its different aspect ratio changes. In a theater, the cinema, where all of us get to just become one and enjoy the big screen. There's nothing better than that feeling in the theater. And I know there's a lot of people out there that probably prefer streaming over theater, but I'm a real cinephile. And this shit means something to me. We'd probably never get a Ryan Coogler explaining which format you need to watch the film in and explaining which format is the best to watch what in because it'll just be dumped on streaming. And it's just going to become oversaturated on Netflix, which is already oversaturated in and of itself. Their UI already is kind of annoying trying to find what you need to find. There's going to be so many great films buried in that massive library. And I can already see them taking a quantity over quality approach like they're used to. Then of course you have the whole monopoly angle, which is most likely going to lead to being bankrupt creatively. There's a reason one of our greatest cinematic auteurs in James Cameron has said that he hates Netflix's model. And a bunch of industry insiders say this could potentially be the death of cinema as well. I think we need to start holding the audience accountable, the general audience accountable too. I think I, and along with all of us other cinephiles out there, need to realize that we are in the minority now. I think more people would just prefer to watch something at home, which is just crazy to me. You know, I'm always, of course, whatever floats your boat, but there's just nothing like being in a theater, the cinema, and just getting to escape for 2-3 hours and just really immerse yourself in a beautiful film that makes you feel. Man, I knew David Zaslav and Ted Sarandos were getting a little too friendly recently. Plus, as the big comic book nerd fan that I am, what the fuck does this mean for DC Studios? I'm assuming that James Gunn and Peter Safran will still be in charge, but will they really be in charge? And don't even get me started on the fact that we're going to get non-stop Snyder revival purists are going to come back because there's been heavy rumors that Netflix could try to bring back the Snyderverse because of Snyder's close working relationship with Netflix. Everything's up in the air, man. I'm still hoping and praying for the Hail Mary outcome, and that's that this acquisition falls through and Comcast comes out of nowhere like Randy Orton and purchases Warner Brothers. Because in case you don't know, Comcast owns a bunch of other subsidiaries, one of them being Universal Studios. You're going to get all that entire library that Warner Brothers has at their disposal. Plus, Universal is actually committed to theatrical releases. And you can use all that new IP to help build out your parks, which bring in all that cash too. Maybe one day good things will happen in my life, but today is not that day. But like I said, this is going to be a long process. It won't be hashed out tomorrow. And there could be a couple of twists and turns along the way. But right now, it looks like Netflix is going to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery and merge. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Where do you land on all of this? Drop a comment down below. And as always, like and follow for more.